Hi everyone, and welcome to Power Players. I'm Harry, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 tips for getting all 3 stars in Pointy Pass, the final hospital of the Speedy Recovery DLC. And if you find this useful, do make sure you subscribe to the channel, keep liking all the videos, and comment down below what are your top tips for Speedy Recovery. Now first, before we go in, this is my final build, right? 2 DNA labs, 2 psychiatries, 1 ward, pretty much 1 of each treatment room that you need. So you can see a fracture ward, we've got all the 3 new illnesses right here, a deluxe clinic, cryptology, Pan's lab, shock clinic, injection room, pharmacy, head office, and a surgery. And that is it. That is all you need to do this. Early on, you're going to want a DNA lab, a ward, a psychiatry, just so you can make sure that you're getting those diagnoses done. A fracture ward, an injection room, and a pharmacy. They're the 3 treatment rooms that I found each time that you needed quite early on. And in terms of vehicles, you can see I've got 2 feather balloons, my favorites. Look at them. How can these not be your favorites? I got some big healers. I got 2 big healers. I got some Collins. I've got 1 Collin actually. I have 4 Pantomobiles, which I actually think are the best vehicles in the game. And then I have 2 elevators, 3 elevators, and a helicopter. There you go. And in terms of staff, I have my usual amount of staff in terms of 2 for each room roughly, and as you can see I have quite a few drivers and flyers. So let's get started. First things you want to do is you definitely need a DNA lab. You want to get that DNA lab in. You want to get the price of the DNA lab up to 100%. That gives you 10 grand per diagnosis, and it is really useful. It definitely helps me get out of money problems quite early on, and yeah, it's definitely worthwhile getting sorted. Other than that, you're going to want a ward, of course, and a psychiatry if you've got a psychiatrist. It's definitely worth getting that done, because you're going to want to get as many patients diagnosed as early as possible. Get those diagnosis rates up so you can essentially treat your patients. So tip number 2, the first rooms that you're going to want is the pharmacy. The injection room, and the fracture ward. They're the first treatment rooms. I know I've gone through this already, but they're the 3 that I'm finding you use the most. And then obviously you're going to need this snow problem, the powder room, because you're going to have nice little snowmen coming in with snow problems. And yeah, you want to get this because the first star you need to cure 8 of them. So if you don't have a room, you can't cure them. I'd also hold off upgrading all your machines straight away, because for star 2 you're going to need to upgrade 20 machines. That can be quite a lot, and the vehicles don't count, so do make sure you're not upgrading too many machines, or it could take you a while to get that 2nd star. Tip number 3, you need to be all over this emergency dashboard, because if you're not, it is your only source of patients. As you'll be able to see, I've not been on it. I have no patients. I've been losing money the last 2 quarters. I've lost quite a bit of money each time. So you want to constantly make sure that you are in this menu, making sure you're picking up patients, because otherwise you're just going to end up with no one, and it's going to be quite a bit of a problem. So tip number 4 is these rivals are quite quick. So you can see we got a limo there, you got this aeroplane here, quite quick. The holistics are a bit slower, but they can obviously carry more patients, so it's definitely one to look out for. So you're going to see this aeroplane. I was going to say it was going to pick up a few, but it was going for the emergencies, for the awards. So you can see it's picked up 4. You can see this limo is going quite quick. It's going to beat that car there. It's going to pick up the 1. So you do want to make sure that you're all over this, that you're dispatching quite a good mix of big healers and elevators, as well as your feather balloons, which are going to carry more patients, and your pantomobiles. So do make sure you've got a good mix of vehicles, and then obviously the staff to be able to drive them, which goes nicely onto my 5th tip. You want to train your staff in both driving and flying, and then follow that up with diagnosis. That way you can essentially have any staff member fly any vehicle, and then the more diagnosis you have, the better diagnosed these patients are going to be as they come in. I mean, if we just click on that one, 57% diagnosis going in. It should mean that they only need to go to 1 diagnosis room, 2 at the very, very max, and that's going to make our lives a lot easier. So finally, I know I said 5 tips, but finally, for the last star, you need to be at the top of the leaderboard for all 5 of these. Now, each one of them can be done individually. Thankfully, there was a patch by 2 Point Studios, which meant that you do not have to have all 5 for 3 months at once. Trust me, that took me a long time to do, so I'm glad they've had that changed. Easy way to get all of them done. Absolutely spam patients collected. Easy, that's simple enough. Now the cure rate will have a delayed effect because you only get the cure rate impact once all the patients for that emergency has left your hospital. So just make sure you're training all your staff, but just be aware that there's going to be a slight delay. Death rate and failure rate, the easiest way to do this is to essentially not collect any patients. If you don't collect any patients, you get 0 deaths. You get 0 failures. As long as you've got the cash to back it up, shouldn't be a problem to do. And then emergency reputation, you want to make sure that you're responding to these emergencies before anyone dies. So like here, for example, we don't want to be responding to that. This one, yeah, let's get some elevators in, maybe a big healer in quickly, just so that way we can limit the amount of people that have died before we even get there, and then we can pick up all the rest of the patients. So, we're going in there with 2 dying, it's not too bad. We're getting some quick vehicles there, so we can just give ourselves a bit of time before our feather balloon gets in there, picks up the majority of them, and then we follow up with the helicopter. That's going to make sure that we are maximizing our emergency reputation. We're also collecting quite a lot of patients there, so we should be fairly high up the leaderboard in terms of patients collected as well. And then when these come in, because of our build of our drivers, they should be fairly well diagnosed. So let's just say, if it's going to let me pick one of them, 94%. Wow, they're just going to go straight to the treatment room, and that makes my life so much easier. So much easier. I mean, look at them all heading straight for the diagnosis room. That's just great. And I'm just going to wait until this time just ticks over to the next month, because I am really hoping you're going to be able to see the impact. So the emergency reputation is only going to go up once we've cured everyone within that emergency. So we're not going to see the benefit straight away for the reputation here, but you can see it's starting to have a bit of an impact. And I mean, look at that. Top on 4 of them, not top on patients collected, but really simple to do. If we really wanted to, we could just spam a load of patients collected. You saw I focused on the 1 emergency, but that is essentially how you pass the last start. You should be able to do it fairly quickly, especially if you focus on 1 at a time. I've upgraded all of my vehicles. I'm constantly training my staff as always, and that is how we roll. So they're my top tips for absolutely smashing Pointy Pass. I hope you found them useful. If you have, make sure you drop the channel a subscribe. It's completely free, really helps me out. We're making our way straight past the 800 mark and beyond. Keep on liking the videos and comment down below, what are your top tips for Pointy Pass. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Bye for now.